Welcome in to the PHNX Suns podcast, brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's #1 sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Lindsey Smith, here with Gerald Bourguet and Espo. Gentlemen, how you doing?
I got a question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any fears?
Do I have any fears?
Yeah.
I have a lot of fears.
How deep are we trying to go?
Not like an existential crisis kind of thing, like normal stuff, like fear of heights or anything like that.
I would say probably heights.
Roaches.
All right. I'm afraid of drowning in the ocean.
Okay, that's a good one.
And as you know, I had a coughing fit yesterday on the show.
Right.
And found out I had a sinus infection. So I got this machine that's supposed to help clean your sinuses. And literally
you feel like you're drowning.
It feels like you're drowning in the ocean. It pours salt water through one nostril out the other.
A neti pot.
Yeah. Well, it's a fancy neti pot.
Oh,
it's
fancy neti pot.
It's got the same idea
same
of it.
thing. Yeah,
those
kettle.
things are brutal.
Literally, I mean, I felt like I was drowning. I was like, great, I'm punishing myself here. I've created my own nightmare here. And then you read in the instructions, don't put anything other than salt water, like illegal drugs in here. And I'm like, who in their right mind went, hey, I should put some drugs in here. It's bad enough with salt water. Anyways.
So you're not doing well. That's what you're saying.
Well, we know that.
That's the answer.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have anything that's like crazy or just even like normal. Like Wessel said, heights. I feel like heights is a pretty normal thing to be afraid of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
everybody says they're good with heights until they get up there and look down. Then it's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna go out of my way to like do anything outrageously crazy, but like I'm not to the point where I have to like sit down or move back or I'm gonna start crying, kind of a thing.
Somebody in the chat says Luka Doncic.
Oh, man.
Too soon. Too soon. Oh my gosh.
That's rough.
All right. Well, I thought I dodged a bullet this week, but apparently not, because it's Thursday and it's Trade Machine Thursday.
Trade Machine Thursday. Trade Machine Thursday.
So let's get into it. We decided to, and by we, I mean Gerald, but I'm going to take credit for his work, like always, decided to put together some trade options that the Suns could potentially explore should the Kevin Durant situation completely be off the table.
Yes. So I'm not saying that we're doing this because we think Kevin Durant is off the table, but it's the off season and like we have nothing else to do. So
Gerald fears people trashing him on the internet for nothing that he's actually saying.
I fear being misquoted. That's my biggest thing. I hate that so much. And I feel like when people
we know, Gerald.
I feel like when people see an article like this, they're like, oh, Gerald doesn't think it's happening. No, it's July and there's nothing else going on.
I saw an aggregation that said Gerald Bourguet of PHNX Sports reports that Kevin Durant is done in Phoenix. It's not happening, so here's the deals that they should make.
We'll deal with you in a minute.
You're going to get Gerald's blood boiling, and we just started this show, Espo.
That was the most That was the most serious I've ever seen Gerald get on this program. So go ahead, Gerald.
That's going back to fears. That's one of my biggest fears is something I wrote blowing up on the internet and it not being something I wrote. So I wanted to come up with a couple of trade options because if Kevin Durant doesn't happen, like we talked about yesterday, there will be a point where the Suns have to shift gears and just prepare for the upcoming season. Because even if they don't get Kevin Durant, we've talked about this, they're still a title contender. They're still bringing pretty much everybody back. But there are some areas they need to tighten up, including finding a third point guard, filling that 15th roster spot, etc. At this point in free agency, most of the good guys are gone. Most of the good targets are gone. So the trade market is probably how you're going to have to do that. So let's dive into the first one. This is a Utah Jazz trade. We mentioned this guy yesterday, but Jordan Clarkson would be coming to the Suns in this deal, along with Jared Vanderbilt. And the Jazz would be getting Torrey Craig, Landry Shamet, and I think that's a 2025 first-round pick that is protected. Your guys' thoughts on this potential deal?
This one's my favorite.
I like it, but would the Jazz like it? You're having
that's the
how
question.
many? What? There's two more years guaranteed on Landry's deal. The fourth one has an option involved, right?
I think there's 4
Is
still.
it 4?
Yeah, there's still 4.
Fourth has the option.
Mm-hmm.
The 4. So you're bringing him in as part of either your future or a guy you're gonna have to deal.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Torrey Craig's expiring. They get a first. I might even throw if you're out of the KD running, right?
Mm-hmm.
I might even throw 2 firsts in there to
Would
get
you?
something like this done.
That was my next question: is how would you? So you would throw 2 firsts for Jordan Clarkson?
At this point, we know that there's no value for James Jones in first round picks.
True.
So what do we care? Throw them around like they mean nothing because they supposedly do mean absolutely nothing in that front office. So I'd go 2 because it solidifies a major thing that hurt you. Well, 2 areas that hurt you: backup guard and bench scoring. So I would definitely
and you're
throw in 2.
not giving up. This is no shade to Torrey and Landry, of course, but you're not giving up any core assets within this one. And to Espo's point, we know James Jones doesn't value first-round draft picks as much as other teams may. So if you have to throw in another one, I like this one the most, mostly because of who we're not giving up.
Yeah. I think it also turns an area of weakness into an area of strength because campaign can now become like a third guard in your rotation kind of discussion. Could play some backup too, where he saw some success. I just like the options that it gives you there.
Yeah, I have mixed feel. This is probably my not my least favorite trade, because there's one in the article that I wrote that we won't be talking about that was probably my least favorite. But I like this one. It's kind of my like baseline as far as realism. Like, you could make this happen. The Jazz are clearly having a fire sale. Rudy Gobert's gone. Donovan Mitchell probably next. Danny Ainge is blowing it up. He's starting to rebuild. Jordan Clarkson is going to be one of the first guys that shipped off because he's a bench guy that you can pretty much plug on any team. He's not the most efficient. If you look at his three-point shooting the last few years, it's been kind of rough. He shot 32% last year, just under 35 the year before, and he's like at 34% for his career. But he is a guy that Monty was talking about. We didn't have enough guys that we could just throw the ball to and they could go get a bucket. He's definitely that kind of guy, for better or for worse, because his shot selection can be infuriating at times. But he does bring that alternative to campaign off the bench if you need a bench scorer to rely on, somebody that can get hot in a playoff series. The part of this trade, honestly, that I like is not just getting Jordan Clarkson, but adding in Jared Vanderbilt. I feel like he's a very underrated player. This trade couldn't happen until August 30th because Vanderbilt was just traded, so he can't be traded in conjunction with another player until 2 months have passed. But at that point, if nothing's happened on the KD front, that's probably the timeline we're dealing with anyway. I like him. He would really help on the glass. I think he averaged like 8 rebounds a game last year. He has no three-point shot, but he's an athletic 6'9" guy that can plug a lot of holes defensively. So he'd kind of be a Torrey Craig upgrade in the Torrey Craig role. And then you'd be getting Jordan Clarkson, who you would hope would be kind of a Landry Shamet upgrade. I think defensively, you're taking a step back there, going from Shamet to Clarkson. But again, that offensive creation is big.
Yeah, I feel like these are the kind of on the margin moves that you're going to have to make if you're out on the KD thing to try to improve this roster moving forward. And look, like we talked about yesterday, you may be waiting until right around training camp and you may miss out on a guy like Clarkson. But if he's available, this is the kind of deal I'd jump at if I'm James Jones.
Yeah, and I think I should point out, too, that these deals don't necessarily have to be done before the season. These are things that you could revisit down the road, especially because if you're trying to keep the KD door open, you're going to be waiting till the trade deadline anyway. So.
Yeah, I just think Utah is more motivated to move Clarkson
well
before that. So if you want him, I think you're going to have to get on him in the next 6 weeks to have a chance at it.
All right, before we move on to the next one, we do have a super chat from Psycho Blue. Thank you for your super chats at Espo. You prayed to the wrong forbidden one last time. Basketball Cthulhu has been here since Gail Goodrich, and you leave him hanging. For shame. #When'sKD.
Give me the 2 shot here. Basketball Cthulhu, I'll make the same deal with you. Hit me up, whatever it takes to get the championship in Phoenix. I don't care. I'll make it happen. My soul is probably not worth it to you to get a championship, but I'm willing to make the trade. Call me.
Call me.
This man just invoking demons into our studio.
Sunder's Dunks in the chat. I think it was Sunder's Dunks said LOL at Psycho Blue that you just want them to stumble over Cthulhu. I feel like I've gotten it now.
You got it down.
Right?
You got it down.
You didn't even have to ask us about it.
Now I get it. It's about time. Okay, let's take a look at the next one you put together, Gerald. Which one do you want to do?
Yeah, let's do the John Collins one next. This
Sorry.
one,
Brian just said in the chat at Espo, nobody likes a spiritual tease. Sorry, let's get on to the next one.
Yeah, so with this one, look, the Hawks could just be content to run it back with the core that they have now that they have this new backcourt with DeJounte Murray and Trae Young. So maybe they just want to keep everybody intact. But John Collins has been on the trade block for like 2 to 3 years now. He feels like somebody that if you put together a nice enough offer for him, maybe the Hawks bite. In this deal, it's Torrey Craig, Landry Shamet, Cam Johnson, and 2 first-round picks for John Collins. You might talk me into a third. The reason I'm going with 2 here is because giving up Cam Johnson, honestly, that's tough. But John Collins is a guy who would help you on the interior. He'd help you with the rebounding thing. He'd give you another rim roller for Chris Paul and Devin Booker as this kind of above the rim threat. And he can shoot the 3 ball pretty serviceably well. So the spacing wouldn't be terrible. He's not like a dead eye 3-point shooter, but he shoots efficiently enough on lower to medium range.
And think about the court. You'd have Book, you have DA, you have Collins long-term, you have McHale.
Mm-hmm.
That's 4 of 5 in your starting lineup that are pretty damn good for the next handful of years. I'd be very interested in seeing how the Hawks felt about that. I don't think I go a third pick there because you're giving up Cam, but I definitely would be down for what you proposed here.
The chat is not down.
They're not down.
The chat is not down. We did get one. Joel said, "Dub, we need Collins," but then the rest of it was no Collins, please. Hell no. F the Hawks. Wouldn't give Cam and picks for Collins. Hell no on Cam. I don't know. They're not completely sold, but there are a couple still coming in that's saying like, okay, I get it. But a lot of people think he's overpaid and unreliable.
Look.
He's definitely overpaid, but so is everybody at this stage. Like,
why do we care? It's not our money.
Right.
Like, literally, spend all of Sarver's money. Get everybody if you have to. I don't care.
Yeah, like I get it because throwing Cam J and the line in the sand for sure is Mikal Bridges. You're not including him in this type of trade, even though that's what the Hawks would undoubtedly ask for.
Yeah, great. Take a long walk
I think,
a short pier.
I think this is the type of trade where you look at what Gobert got, you look at what DeJounte Murray got. It was a lot of role players and mostly picks for these guys. If you could do something similar with the Hawks where maybe you do a third pick and take Cam J out of it, substitute somebody else in, maybe you're talking then. And it would help the Hawks because they just gave up, 4 first-rounders for DeJounte Murray, so it would help replenish some of their draft stock a little bit. This one's tough, though. I do like Collins, but, yeah, I get the argument that he is overpaid, but, again, it's not my money, so I think
the biggest situation here is that Cam Johnson is right. included in this. I think if you could swap him out with somebody else, or like you said, add in another pick, I think a lot more people would be on board with this idea.
Can't look at what John Collins is now and ask yourself, can Cam develop into better than that? That's what the question is. I feel like this is a win now and stay competitive in the future move where you're banking that Cam Johnson maybe gets as good as John Collins but doesn't get better. So then it's a win because you get that guy now who's already there that can help you win this year. I love Cam. I love McHale, but sometimes I think we overvalue them in Phoenix based on liking who they are and imagining what they could be when you can get somebody that's better than them now that could help you in the present.
I think right now John Collins is a better player, but I do think Cam Johnson's skill set is more tailored to what you need to win in the NBA, and I think that's probably the difference is that
That's
like
fair.
his 3-point shooting, his floor spacing, and just that wing versatility that he has makes him a little bit more valuable in terms of just what you need to win in the NBA. I do get that sentiment though. I do think Cam Johnson could be as good as John Collins if he was moved into a starting role. That's one thing we've only seen in short bursts, but he has been very good when he's been a starter. So that's my hesitation there. If you took out Torrey Craig and Cam Johnson and swapped in Dario Saric instead, I think the math would work on that. I'd have to double check. It'd be close.
Or Crowder.
Or Crowder, yeah. I'd rather try to keep Crowder if you can, just so you continue to have wings and guys you can plug in multiple spots. But yeah, maybe the Hawks would want. The thing with this trade, if you're the Hawks, you're getting 2 picks back to replenish your cupboard a little bit. And you're getting Cam Johnson and Landry Shamet to spread the floor for a backcourt that already has Trae Young and Bogdan Bogdanovic. Like that's a lot of floor spacing that they would have. So I think they would probably bite on that. I don't know if it would be. You'd probably have to throw 3 first-rounders if you're going to sub Cam Johnson out.
Don't forget DeJounte Murray in that backcourt too.
Yeah, well, he can't shoot, but
they're pretty.
But
pretty
everyone else around him can,
there,
so that's good.
Yeah, look. I think you're probably right in this, that Cam's more tailored to today's NBA and what you need in the future. I just am so, and this is my blind spot right now. I'm so stuck in what gets you to the title next year, rather than how does a guy develop 3 years from now, because you just look at it, and that point guard spot with Chris Paul, that window is closing with Chris Paul. Now, it may not be your ultimate overall window, but I just look at next year, and I'm all about all in, you know?
Yeah, no, and I get that. And I think Bryn brought up a good point in the chat saying that John Collins is 18 months younger than Cam Johnson.
He's 24.
Yeah, so that's something to bear in mind too.
Yeah, you may just be scratching the surface of John Collins' skills as well. So.
Well, and then you've also seen times in Atlanta too where they have admitted to not really drawing up plays for him. Yeah. You know what I mean? And not making him really any sort of a focal point.
Sound familiar?
Maybe in another situation he can tap into another level.
Sorry, somebody
Gerald's like, stop
no, it does not.
Listen, somebody's got to rep it while Saul's not here, so I figured I'd pull the ripcord and see how you reacted.
He's smiling somewhere.
It's so funny. I love how our fandom extends far beyond just the play on the court. And honestly, I'm right there with you guys. Where did it go? Dagoon said, the difference is Cam is ours. I don't give a flying fruit bat about Collins. But then Hello said, sometimes you got to kick the sweet baby out the house.
Dagoon also said our opinions don't matter because we said we'd trade DA for Miles Turner. And let's make it very clear, that was when we felt like it may be to a point where they weren't going to re-sign him and you just needed to get something.
Gerald's going to get mad at you. You misquoted him.
I don't know how many times we had to say that we wanted to keep DA primarily. These are last resort alternatives if you have to get rid of him, but that's fine.
We should have just had that disclaimer on the screen every show without us saying it.
Just a flashing ticker at the bottom.
Yeah.
And things we've already discussed. I don't know, maybe.
It's
all
fine.
right. Next up. The Thunder.
Yeah, so this is one that if Kevin Durant doesn't fall through, but you're looking to make a superstar trade, I still really like this trade target. I have 2 different trades for him. So let's go with the first one for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder. In this deal, the Suns are getting SGA for Dario Saric, Mikal Bridges, and 3 first-round picks. Now, this is the highest that you would go, and honestly I don't think I personally would go this high, but this is what the Thunder are probably going to be looking for, something in that range. Now, there's been no recent indication that the Thunder are looking to trade him, but he has been mentioned in multiple trade rumors over the last couple of years because he's a player that's ready to win now. The Thunder clearly are not. They have a very young core and they want to get Josh Giddey the ball in his hands. Maybe they don't want to pay that massive max contract that they gave him throughout the full 5 years. So thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I just don't think McHale fits what they're looking for. He's not 7 foot and weighing 135 pounds. Can we interest you in a Jacques Landale instead? Look, I don't trade McHale in this.
Mhm.
I get why you'd want to do this because it answers your point guard question for the next decade
Mhm.
in all likelihood. But I think I go, here's Cam and 4 first rounds,
Mhm.
rather than put McHale in there. And I might make that kind of a move. Now, it's tough contracts. I understand there have to be additional salary filler,
Right.
those kind of things to make that work. But I think McHale is too much in that for a position that, how do you make it work with Chris Paul in year 1, too? Because you're obviously not putting him at the 2. You got Devin Booker there. You're not putting Chris Paul on the bench, and nobody's bringing Shea Gilgeous-Alexander off the bench either. So
I think you put Devin Booker at the 3, or what you just run with the 3 guard lineup, or you stagger them because it's kind of like what we talked about with DeJounte Murray in the past. I think you have more than enough talent to be willing to embrace kind of the short-term awkwardness there and get past that hump. Let's bring up the other trade. This is probably what I think the Suns would push for. So they're getting Shea and they're getting Darius Bazley. They're sending out Dario Saric, Torrey Craig, Landry Shamet, Cam Johnson, and 3 first-round picks. Thunder might push for 4 if the best player they're getting back is Cam Johnson, but they're also getting 2 expiring contracts. Landry Shamet, who's a guy that they can flip elsewhere for more picks in the future, and they're getting rid of 2 young players, but guys that might not be part of their long-term idea of team building because, like we said, they want Josh Giddey to have the ball in their hands. Most of their guys are too young to help Shea win now. At some point, he's going to want to start winning, and I feel like that point's coming pretty soon. Sam Presti loves his picks, so thoughts on that one?
The chat really is enjoying this one,
Yeah.
at least more than
The first
the
one.
first one. That's
Yeah.
for sure. They're like, yeah, this one has got me interested. I would give up 4 firsts as well. I can live with that type of stuff. So
how many second rounders are you allowed to give up? Is there a rule on that?
I'm actually not sure on that. I feel like you can give up quite a few.
Okay. 10 years worth of second round picks too, because Sam Presti is just like attracted to the draft like nobody else. So give up all the seconds too. I'm all right with that. I like this one. Like you said, you can figure out how to make that rotation work. I agree to an extent. I still have PTSD from the 3-headed point guard of.
I think you and a lot of people do.
Yeah, Bledsoe.
But all
Gordon,
3 of these guards are better than all 3 of those guards by
which
a long
makes
shot.
me even more nervous about that because, again, only so many you only can roll one ball out there on the court, and somebody winds up having to take a step back, likely Chris Paul in this situation.
That's the bigger
Good.
question. Not can they actually make it work, is can the egos make it work?
I think so. Like Chris Paul and Shea have experience playing together. They loved playing together, and they've had nothing but good things to say about each other since then. It solves your issue as far as if you need a spot start for Chris Paul or you need to dial back his minutes. Shea's the perfect guy to do that because he's an all-star caliber player and probably would have been an all-star last year if he played on a team that wasn't terrible. And Booker, I mean, he's tall enough to play the 3 in spots. Like obviously him playing there permanently is not the best thing for you because he would be having to go toe-to-toe with some of these wings, but you'd still have McHale to take some of those tougher assignments. If you work out the second deal, you add some wing depth, bringing in Bazley, who's a young player who can score a little bit. And I think like if Kevin Durant is out the window, this is probably the next superstar target that you could realistically make a move for. Obviously things change as we go through a season, stars get disgruntled and people become available, whatever. But it feels like Shea is probably the next domino in that chain as far as like this guy wants out or the Thunder don't want to commit to keeping him for the full 5 years.
Hey, it's worth taking a swing if KD's off the table and figuring out how to make it work. At worst, you move on from Chris Paul after next year. There's an out here. It's not as if every single one of them is in long-term contracts. And Book and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is a compelling backcourt for the future with McHale and DA.
That's a
potentially in front
dynamic
court.
core if you have those
Yeah,
four. Like
you look at that, and that window becomes much larger than just the next few seasons. That's 5-6 years if you play it right and you add the right kind of bench around him. I'm really intrigued by that. Is it enough to get it done with Sam Presti? I don't know. Like I said, he's attracted to picks, so maybe it becomes 4 firsts and pick swaps and second round picks, as well as the players. But again, give all the draft picks away. It doesn't matter.
Right. And to be clear, because people are asking why would OKC do this? Why wouldn't they just keep him? I think it was Kevin O'Connor that reported pretty recently that he's not sure he sees the fit being there long term because they do want to put the ball in Josh Giddey's hands. So I'm not just like speculating. Yeah. Over the last year or two, there have been 3 different trade rumors involving Shea from reputable sources as far as he might be available in the future. So again, there's nothing concrete yet, but it is something to keep an eye on if we're reading the tea leaves as far as which stars might be available, because we are going to be waiting a while for Kevin Durant anyway. So,
well, we think, but maybe there'll be some movement.
Hey, fingers crossed. But I think in terms of finding a guy that can help you win now and finding a long-term solution in the backcourt alongside Devin Booker, he's not a traditional like true point guard, but he's a 6'6" guard, combo guard who can play alongside Book. You'd have more than enough playmaking between the two.
And the irony is that's the big 3 that Ryan McDonough wanted: Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton.
Right.
And they'd wind up on the same team with Mikal Bridges potentially as well. That would be quite the sight to see. So.
Hello in the chat said, will that trade make OKC giddy?
I love it.
Oh my gosh.
I knew you would have appreciated that one,
of course
Gerald.
I did.
Do not encourage Gerald, please.
Oh my goodness. Gerald did talk about it earlier in the show, but he has more of these over at gophnx.com. So if you want to check that out, become a member today, get access to all of that sweet, sweet content, go more in depth on all of these Trade Machine Thursday asterisk situations. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break, tell you guys about the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use promo code PHNX. After you make your first deposit, you're going to get a risk-free bet up to $1,000 when you use that code. One more time, PHNX. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Espo, I asked Saul and Gerald this earlier this week. I think it was them.
Yeah, you haven't asked me anything this week, so.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Because now I can't remember what day it is. Did we talk about Devin and Book yesterday?
No. Devin and Book? No.
I mean, not, good Lord. Devin and Kendall?
I was not here when you guys talked about Devin and Kendall.
That was Monday?
Okay.
It was Tuesday. I sent you a text saying, how dare you talk about the big news without me.
He was sad.
Would you use a betting app? Like if DraftKings extended their sports betting beyond sports and into like pop culture around sports.
Hell yes.
Like Devin and Kendall
We did talk about this yesterday
married.
because I said I'd bet on them having a baby.
Was this yesterday?
This was yesterday. And yes, I would.
Did I bring it up yesterday then?
Yes, you did.
Time is a flat circle.
What is happening?
It's all right. It's the off season.
Yeah.
Yes, Lindsay, I would. I actually think it was my idea yesterday.
Was it?
So yes, I would bet on that for sure.
Dear Lord. Anyway, Espo, you can run the show for now.
All right. Well, let's. I woke
up at 9 o'clock this morning. I'm exhausted.
I've been up since 6. All right. I want to talk about something. Yesterday we had a clip from Brian Windhorst. He was talking about the situation in Brooklyn. Jacob, could you play that again for us?
From what I understand, the trade talks involving Kevin Durant have slowed to a trickle. You can still get some Nets folks on the phone if you want to make an offer, but they are not aggressively, I am told, making outgoing calls. The league is about to go on their first significant vacations in 2 years. People are scattering to Europe and the national parks, and Kevin Durant is still a Net, and I don't think that's going to change in the short-term future.
So I know that Sean Marks isn't on an island or in a national park or wherever else NBA executives go. Windhorst said that he'll take calls, right? I tracked down Sean Marks' phone number. I'm not lying. I tracked it down. and I want to call him right now. Are you guys cool with this?
Yeah, sure.
Let's make a Kevin Durant. Let's try to press this guy on getting a Kevin Durant deal done here on the show.
What if he doesn't answer? Are we
if he doesn't answer, then we'll do another segment. I don't care.
Okay.
Or I'll leave a message.
What's the word count to beat? I'm not going to comment right now.
You want to make a bet that I can
get more than 7 words?
More than 7 words.
You want to make a bet that I can get him to talk more than 7 words?
He also said, like, hey, Gerald, how are you?
Yeah, he did.
He did say that
fair.
stuff, too. He didn't just, like, completely...
Yeah, he said, hey, nice to meet you, or something like that.
He said, who the hell are you? I have the number. Should we call him in Brooklyn? I mean...
I think so.
Let's do it.
Can I borrow your phone?
Sure.
I know I got the number here on my iPad, but I can't.
There you go.
All right. So I'm going to dial this here. Okay. All right. I got a dial tone. Let's talk to him.
Okay.
Afternoon.
Hey, Sean, it's Espo from PHNX.
It is about time that we get to do this.
I agree, man. We got to figure out this Kevin Durant thing. Can we do that right now?
Appreciate you guys having some patience with us as well over the course of since the season's end to now, and figuring out that we had some time to reflect, time to debate, discuss, have honest conversations. So between Steve, myself, and Josiah, have spent a lot of time meeting over the course of these last 2 weeks.
Yeah. I'm really glad you guys got a powwow and try to figure out what you're going to do with KD. But we got a deadline here. We're trying to make a championship team, unlike you guys trying to blow it up. So what do we got to do to get Kevin Durant?
You know, we have prided ourselves on the past with finding players with a chip on their shoulder, with a resilience, with something to prove. We're going to have to go back to that. We're going to have to go back to looking a little bit more at development, looking more at finding the right characteristics of a player that fits here.
All right, Sean, now you're speaking my language, baby. I got the guys that fit your culture, that are a little younger, that you can coach up and make them into the Nets that you want, that can compete 2, 3, 4 years down the line and make Brooklyn proud. I got your Cam Johnson, I got your Mikal Bridges, and I got 4 first-round picks. How does that sound to you?
I think we know what we're looking for. You know, we're looking for guys that want to come in here, be part of something bigger than themselves, play selfless, play team basketball, and be available.
Well, let me tell you, Cam and Mikal are those guys, and I have faith that you'll draft those kind of guys too. And yeah, I forgot about the Kyrie thing for you guys. A little awkward, but let me assure you, I got the paperwork on Cam and Mikal. They got their vaccinations. They got all their shots. You're not going to have to worry about them being able to play in New York, Toronto, anywhere. These guys, they'll get it done, and they'll get it done 82 games a year.
Yeah, look, I think that's something we've been discussing, and we will continue to debrief on and discuss throughout this off season. And it's honestly not just Kyrie. I mean, you bring Kyrie up, but we have decisions to make on a variety of different free agents throughout our roster.
So, Sean, do we have a deal or not? Do you have to go to Josiah, your owner, and ask, or can we finalize this and get this done and get KD to Phoenix?
You know, I will say this, with our partner and Joe, he has been amazing to us. You know, as you've seen over the course of his ownership the last couple of years, he has given us autonomy. He has been in the room with us. You know, again, we collaborate with him. And, you know, he knows what's at stake here. He wants to bring something special to Brooklyn. That's been his objective all the way. It's get back to those winning. The objective is to win. He's made it very clear that's what we want to do. And he has never said no. And if the decision is the right one, and we think going forward it doesn't hamstring us, you know, long term, I have no problem going to Joe and saying this is the decision we need to do.
Sean, this is why you're my favorite son. You are spectacular, and I'm glad we got this deal done. I'm going to send the paperwork in to the league, and we can call this a day. I'll let James Jones know that we took care of business, and he's no longer needed to do this.
Well, great.
Hey, sorry to cut you off, Sean, but I got to go. I don't want you to change your mind. Thanks. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
I told you guys we could do this.
Wow. I
told you I got his phone number.
I think you beat 7 words.
I told you I got his phone number.
Does this mean I now have his phone number too?
I think so.
Sure.
Yeah.
No need to have it anymore. We got the deal done. Gerald couldn't even get him to talk on camera. I got him to give us a whole 3.5 minutes to make a deal happen.
It's impressive, Espo.
James Jones can't get this done. I get it done just like that.
Well, that's because you threw Mikal out there like right off the top.
Of course. I'm not negotiating. I want it done.
I mean.
Got it done. All right, obviously that actually was Sean Mark's voice. That's not a lie. I just didn't actually call him.
Moral of the story, don't believe everything you see and hear on the internet.
Sounded pretty realistic.
Can't wait till that gets aggregated and people think the deal is
Somebody's
done.
going to be so mad at you. So
Oh my
mad
gosh,
at you,
they
Espo.
actually got Sean Marks on the show. How the hell did that happen?
If Espo tricked you right now and you would like to scold him in person, you can do that next Wednesday at the Four Peaks Brewery. We're going to be out there. We're going to have live shows all day long. Espo will be there from like open to close. So whatever time works for you to come on down and be like, Espo, I'm really mad at you because you tricked me and now I'm upset. You can do that. That's Wednesday, the 27th. And also a quick reminder, make sure you enter our Toast of the Month sweepstakes at gophnx.com. We're going to be selecting the winner before our live shows begin on Wednesday. So make sure you get your entry in. If you win that Toast of the Month sweepstakes, you're going to get a $50 gift card to Four Peaks Brewery. You're going to get a t-shirt of your choice from our PHNX Locker, as well as an annual membership. Once again, you can enter at gophnx.com.
Gerald, are you uncomfortable that your torso is in the Taste of the Month ad?
It is?
I'm pretty sure that's you holding a glass of beer.
Oh, is it
there.
really?
It's definitely not me. I don't look that good in that shirt. So I think,
that might have been
it
me.
is you.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Look at that.
Look at those fingers.
That. By the way, Mike B says, Espo sure has a lot of time on his hands. It only took me 30 minutes. So that's not a lot of time.
Not too bad.
Necessary. So
There's a couple things in the chat. Todd said, sorry, there's no way that tricked anyone. Ha. I hope not, Todd. I really, genuinely, truly hope
We
not.
had him in the first half.
I
as
would
the
be
meme
very
goes.
sad if that actually tricked somebody. Also, we have to go back to one comment from Dagoon way back that I forgot about. When we were talking about, he said, well, you wanted to trade Miles Turner for DA or whatever, DA for Miles Turner. He was like, not you guys, just you guys.
gotcha. All right.
So,
Thank you.
there you
Dagoon.
go.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all on good terms now. We're good. All right, guys, it's time for some screenshots presented by Arizona Department of Health Services. COVID-19 vaccines are free for everyone 5 and older. Those 12 and older are also now eligible for a booster. Visit azhealth.gov/find-vaccine for a location near you. Our first AZ Health screenshot is highlighting a local teacher here in the Valley who shared this video on her social media channels of her son's themed classroom. Jacob, anytime.
She kind of queued you up for that, Jacob. This is the coolest classroom ever. If I had had my 3rd grade classroom like this during the finals run in 93, my head would have exploded. This is like the dream classroom for a son's nerd. Kudos to her. She's always on Twitter talking about her classroom. I think this is the first time we actually saw the full thing, and I'm impressed. I'm surprised that they allow it. And that is the biggest TV I've ever seen in a classroom. They're rocking a 75-inch television in this classroom. Must be nice.
We had one of those square fat ones that you like wheeled out on the
It wasn't even in your classroom. Had the VHS DVD combo on it if you were lucky.
Yeah, because it was like 20 years old. And there was never enough funds to get an updated one.
Yeah, the 75-year-old librarian always wheeled it in. Yeah. Nobody had a clue how to get the movie to actually play. Yeah.
No, but
we're old.
That's pretty cool because those are the things that, like, growing up in a classroom, you latch onto that sort of thing, and it helps breed more Suns fans. I
was going to say, this teacher is single-handedly trying to encourage the next generation of Suns fans to really get into it. And that's important. We all need that. So shout out to this teacher for making being in school really fun.
Dagoon says, wait, we're just going to blow past the naked man in the classroom? That was a cutout of The Rock.
Yeah.
All right. From his WWE days. But not also, a naked man.
Yes, we are. We're just going to blow right past
In general, that's what you do with a naked man.
Absolutely.
We should go do a live show from that classroom. We'd have to tell Saul, hey, no saying F them kids, but, I think we should look into it.
Pause, Jacob. We're blowing right past it.
Mike B said, name the whole Suns roster for extra credit. That'd be a good one if she actually did that.
Yeah,
that would really encourage kids to actually pay attention a little bit more.
Math done with stats. You could use analytics as your math lessons. Gerald wants to go back to school.
Talk to me when you've memorized their contracts down to the dollar.
Talk to me, nerdy.
All right, our next AZ House screenshot. Hate to break it to all of you guys and gals out there who hoped that one day this could be you, but Kelly Oubre Jr. is officially off the market.
Yes.
Congratulations to Kelly and his new wife who tied the knot, I believe, sometime within the last handful of weeks.
Are we going to ignore this picture?
It's freaking
It's meadow world peace here. He's out in the middle of a meadow with his wife.
Is this really surprising to you? It's Kelly.
Where's the horse?
I mean,
That was the Suns.
that's art though. Like, we don't have the screenshot of her walking down the aisle, do we?
I don't think
okay,
so.
because
Nope.
that was like, it's literally like flowers everywhere, and the two people on either side are like 40 yards apart, and she's like walking through this perfectly shaved like grass patch that's like leading to Oubre at the end. It's like art.
Did somebody forget to tell Kelly Oubre maybe you should save some money? Like, NBA careers don't last forever, and that looks like he spent that $18 million that he made a couple seasons ago all on that one wedding. Flowers alone in this inflation.
You let them live their lives.
Lindsey's
Espo.
like, they literally gave them all the flowers. There are no flowers left for anybody else.
If you want to see it, he posted more photos like the one that Gerald was talking about on his Instagram page. You can check that out. It looked really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
It did. I'm really happy for them. I think
like
that's awesome.
the beach and the ocean behind them, and then there's just this grassy area that they all got married in. It looks incredible.
Yeah.
You didn't get the invite?
I did not. No,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Because you would have really stood out in all black in the middle of that.
In a beanie.
And a beanie.
Beanie on the beach.
Is Oubre still a free agent?
No, he just got married.
Ha! Ha! He finally got a ring. Ha!
I wish you all could see the
Oh.
looks just simultaneously on all four of their faces. When
The
I make
entire
jokes like
room.
these.
Just gave Gerald the same look.
Is he
Hey,
an
man.
NBA free agent? Not on a team right now. I believe he's
I don't know.
still out there.
Let's Google it. Gerald, are you going to Google it?
Sure.
Just
I'll
quiet
take a
silence
look.
as we all go.
I'll take a look.
Click, 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 click,
Like,
click.
what kind of
click,
flowers
click,
were
us
those,
Googling.
Lindsay, as we waste time?
I don't know.
Thought you were the flower expert.
Yeah, I
here.
just give them out. I don't know
Oh,
anything
okay, you
about
don't know.
them. though.
Okay.
I don't.
Good to know.
While Gerald looks that up, Det said he's on an expiring contract.
Okay.
Yeah, he's under contract for one more
Oh,
year.
I thought he was done. All right, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
There we go. All right. Our final AZ Health screenshot is a tweet from somebody whose Twitter account says they are in Oregon.
So
So
we just assume they know something about Nike.
we're just going to speculate. This is from Mikey. They said Devin Booker visiting the Nike archive, signature shoe on the way.
I mean, I think we've all kind of
Yeah, this
Connected
is
the
this is big.
dots. Yeah.
that the signature shoe is coming. I'm more interested in the Nike archive. Like, is there some like secret bunker in Oregon that has like all the history of Nike and the old shoes? And like, is he gonna Frankenstein together some kind of amazing basketball shoe?
I mean, that would be kind of cool.
What brought that thought on?
Because he said the archive, and in my head, this sounds like some majestic, amazing
some,
place,
like library of Nike knowledge. And
like
past
Booker's
lore.
literally just
Yeah.
stuck in some bunker at Nike, looking at all the shoes they've ever made,
Maybe to
deciding what he wants.
Maybe
Maybe.
it's just to get some inspiration or to look at different technologies and see what he's interested in.
I'm really just asking for an invite to the Nike archive. I want to know
I mean,
what
that
it's
would
like.
be pretty dope.
That would be
I'm
a
like
good
the-
investigative journalism report.
I'm the least shoe head here. Like, and I'm
Yeah.
like, can I go to the Nike archive?
I could
But
maybe
can I
get you
try?
there.
Oh,
Could you?
really?
Yeah.
You know
Ow.
somebody at Nike?
We know, yeah. My entire in-law family is from Oregon and Washington,
Are
and
you
they have
related to
lots
Phil
of
Knight?
they have a lot of contacts in Nike, so we
Well,
could possibly get
This
you
is-
guys to the headquarters.
This
This
Yeah.
is just coming up
Jacob.
now.
Beyond that, why don't you call them and ask them, hey, what's up with David? Was he there? Is this true? Can you share anything else? Can that be your homework for today?
Get me into the archive.
Are you allowed to assign me homework?
That's why I asked, can it be?
I want to do a
It was a
national.
polite way to request this to be your homework.
I want a national treasure type movie
Mhm.
at the Nike archive. There are secrets hidden there, and I want to find them.
Probably.
Like why Michael Jordan stepped away for 2 years. I'm sure that's there too.
Oh God, here we go.
But yeah, this has been a known thing. We shared back in, I don't know, like February or March that there were rumors behind the scenes that Devin was already meeting with Nike personnel about a signature shoe. It's literally just a matter of time before this shoe comes out. And he's now on the cover of NBA 2K. Like, this is just the most logical next step for him.
If the shoe's not purple, a book's dead to me.
Oh, God. That's a
It's
lot
so
of
dramatic.
pressure
It's the
right
off
off the
season.
bat.
I'm just bored, okay?
So dramatic. But yeah, it's going to happen. I'm sure, you know, the whole Kobe thing and like renegotiating the contract with Nike, his estate probably put a hold on some things as well. So that could be a potential reason why it's taken so long.
I also wonder if the Suns' uniform redesign kind of skewed things, if they were going to base anything on designs they were going towards, so it matched in your uniform set, if that kind of shifted courses as well with it.
That'd be cool.
I mean, maybe.
I'd be here for it.
That wouldn't surprise
Give them
me.
something that matches that classic jersey they're going to wear this year, because they're going to sell a hell of a lot of those for Nike. So.
Oh, yeah.
Gaines in the chat said, where do we get that 2K cover if we don't play the game? LMAO. Somebody had shared when it first was announced that book would be on the cover, you can buy just like the case on eBay for like $50 less than what you would actually buy the game for.
Gaines, I got a cheaper way. You right-click on the image of it on the internet.
Oh, God.
Click save and use your printer.
Oh, man.
Or send it to Kinko's.
From Bubble Boys to Broke Boys. Here we
I'm
go.
cheap. I'm cheap, man.
To be fair, though, if you do just want it for like your man cave or this type of a thing, you don't need something that's like super, super good quality. You just need something small.
I did ask, because I talked to Ronnie 2K in Vegas,
Name
and
dropper.
I did ask him. It's a relevant name dropping in this case, because I did ask him, are we going to have those posters for sale? Because people in the Valley would definitely buy them. And he was saying, I'm sure they could figure it out.
Did you get Ronnie 2K's number? I'm going to beg him for a poster.
He said,
or do I
I'm
have to make
sure-
a fake call?
You have to make a fake
He
call.
said, I'm sure they can figure it out like people in the Valley can figure it out.
Yeah, people that would want a poster of that 2K cover.
So
it doesn't
he-
sound like it.
So they don't want to make money.
without giving permission, he gave permission to figure it out.
Yeah, he did.
AKA send a thing to Kinko's or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I will
I was just
print
making
out
sure
a
we were
bunch of them.
all on the same page here.
I will print out a bunch of them, and at our next watch party, $2 a pop, you can have your own Devin Booker.
Be all
2K
pixelated and shit.
2K poster.
Hello in the chat said, for people under 30, a Kinko's is a printer shop.
Relevant.
We meant, what are they? FedEx Office now is what they're called.
UPS store does that?
Yeah, any of
Do
them.
they do that?
I don't know.
And sure.
Is
everywhere.
Staples still around?
Staples is still
Mhm.
around.
I know the Staples Center is.
Whenever I need to
Yeah.
print something, I still go to Staples.
Yeah.
This is the dumbest conversation we've ever had.
You know, the 2 times a year when I need to print something.
Buy some damn ink and put it in your printer.
Who has a
and-
printer?
I mean, that
we
is
have one
true.
here in the office. I'll
People
print
do we
under
really?
the age of 30
Oh, that's good to
rarely
know.
have printers in their house anymore, unless it is something they need for their job.
Just
Outside of that, like, why would you have a printer?
No.
Just make it your damn phone wallpaper. You see it every day.
Okay.
They even call it wallpaper anymore.
Well,
I think it's
no,
background.
wallpaper is
Background.
wallpaper is. Oh, never mind.
Is it
Not
wallpaper or
actual-
background?
I love that Lindsay was about to go into a whole dissertation on actual wallpaper.
You know, it's just super trendy right now.
All
That's
right.
all. I was just saying, wallpaper is back in. It's good. We're fine.
Sly says, print shop draft, go.
Oh my gosh. I swear, none of us have had OGs. It's just Thursday and we're really tired and it's been a long free agency thus far.
Mhm.
But if you want to have some OGs and be on our level naturally, I highly recommend the Pina Colada flavor. It's their first ever limited edition seasonal flavor. You can check them out online at ogsbrands.com or on Instagram at ogsbrands. You can also find their products at your local dispensary, but you must be 21 years or older to purchase.
I love that you say pina colada as if you've already had OGs. Pina colada. It's
You
like you're so
know-
chill with it.
Pina
yeah.
colada.
What do you, I don't understand what you're saying.
The way you say pina colada.
Oh, is
It's
it
like
is
you're
this a
already,
good
like,
thing or a
chilled out.
bad thing?
I love the way you say pina colada.
I
wish
never
could do
know
it.
with you guys anymore if you're being genuine or if you're just being sarcastic with me.
I've
I mean,
told
I
you.
didn't say anything, so you got to ask him on this
He's
one.
ignoring us. He's on his phone. Don't you worry.
Yeah, why are you on your phone, Gerald?
Calling Ronnie 2K.
Mm.
Name dropper. I got more than 7 words out of Sean Marks.
All right, guys. It's been a fun show. I need to go take a nap. Tomorrow, we're going to have an even more fun show for you guys.
Oh, we got some big things in store. They're not fake interviews.
I know that I said that you should grab some OGs to get on our level. I definitely recommend for tomorrow's show, OGs, 4 Peaks, whatever one floats your boat, or neither. It doesn't matter. Just come join us. But it's gonna get a little bit out of the box. It'll
tomorrow?
be tomorrow. It's gonna be very out of the box. So I'm just saying, come with an open mind. Come with a lot of fun things that you want to comment in the chat because it's gonna be a blast.
She makes us all ready to like go to a sweat lodge.
I feel like you're scaring them. Come
We're
with an open mind.
Trip.
I'm trying to create intrigue, Gerald. Help me.
We're all gonna be 2 6-packs of 4 Peaks and 3 edibles down, and you're gonna just have to deal with it.
Come with an open mind and an open heart.
Okay, we gotta go. We'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time. YouTube right here at 2 p.m. Until then, you can follow me on Twitter at Lindsey Smith AZ. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget, and you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, take us home.
Get ready to get trippy tomorrow. Ahoy hoy.
Hey yo, my lifestyle is retro. Tell the Phoenix Metro. Megas in control and he ain't never gonna let go. PHNX though, Lindsey, Gerald, Espo. Saw past the ball, we here to turn up the tempo. Got to understand me, I'll always rep the family. Rally in the valley like Dan G, no plan B. Always